The war that has gone down in the history books, one of the most gruesome wars in SMP Earth history, has had some new developments. The war wasn't active for a while, but now it's back, and it's more intense than ever before. Time Dio and Bitzel have now actually fought up against a full-power Antarctic empire. Well, let's go over the story before we get to that. To preface this video, it will be long. This event was a very intense battle between Business Bay and the Antarctic Empire. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Remember when I mentioned that Pete was the main target and that he was going to be attacked? Well, it happened. Tommy and Dio created a plan to ambush Pete, and then informed the rest of Business Bay about it. Obviously, they didn't do this for no reason though. Earlier in the week, Philza stole many diamonds from the Business Bay casino, which enraged them. Their goal here was to get revenge, and some resources in exchange for the stolen diamonds. Upon the Business Bay army's arrival, Pete had already gotten in his plane and was flying very high in the air. Pete was then contacted by the Business Bay members, who were angered at the Antarcticans. He apologized on his nation's behalf, though Dio would still take any revenge he could get, and claimed he would kill Pete regardless of any attempt at peace talks. Next, the Business Bay members roamed around the Antarctic Empire's territory in search for items that would make up the 50 diamonds Philza stole. Philza then logged on to see what was going on. He hid inside the villager farm, which was behind a door that the Business Bay members could not open. Time Dio then attempted to glitch in using a plane, which caused Philza to log out. Dio then used an arrow to open the door to the villager section, which let him use the villagers to potentially trade some rare items. Dio then discovered Techno's dog, Floof, which caused him to create a plan to steal it. Dio decided he would build a flying machine and penetrate the walls of the Antarctic Empire's castle, though this in the end does not work. Tommy then accidentally killed Alfred II, which was a gift from Alana VA. Dio, being the determined person he is, decided that no matter what anyone said, he would steal Floof. Techno was then alerted by Voice over Pete and one of his Hypixel Skyblock guildmates that Business Bay were trying to steal his dog. This caused Techno to make his first appearance on SMP Earth since the moon landing. Techno then logged on to see Time Dio attempting to break into his room in the Antarctic Empire castle. Techno then stated he would give others no content and possibly even grief the group's shared Skyblock island if they attacked him before he set up his stream. He then counted all of his allies that were online, which were only himself, Pete, and Sal. Sal then explained that he was very underprepared for war, but he would still give his life for the Emperor. The Business Bay members then attempted to glitch into Techno's room using a plane, to which they did not succeed. Suddenly though, Tommy did succeed and got into Techno's room, alone. Tommy was slain very quickly. Though now the plane was in prime position, so the rest of Business Bay got into the room and started attacking Techno. He was baffled. Techno was shocked that they had all breached his room and were now wailing all of their pent-up anger onto him. Techno then realized he would die if he stayed in this small place, so he opened up the door and sprinted out into the main area of the Antarctic Empire's castle. The trio of Business Bay members followed him out, and then re-engaged in combat. Techno was currently in a 3v1 between Bitzel, Time Dio, and Luke. Dio then broke off from the fight and killed a very weak Voice over Pete, and then he attempted to steal Techno's dog. He re-entered the fight and Techno was forced to eat a golden apple, that being one of his first eaten in PvP combat. Techno then attempted to change one of the castle's beacons from strength to jump boost, because he was getting hammered with a lot of damage. Techno then got Time Dio into a corner and attempted to trap him to stop the attack, though Techno failed because Dio just jumped over the place cobble. Philza then logged on to join the battle. Pete was also re-gearing up. Business Bay were about to face the original trio of the Antarctic Empire and Sal. The battle continued, and Dio equipped his shield and lit Techno on fire. Techno then ate another golden apple while trying to seek refuge in his room, attacking Luke as he went. He was then cornered by Dio and Bitzel, but soon after escaped. The battle continued, and Sal finally decided that he would help fight against the Business Bay members. Then Business Bay realized that they could not eat apples while in the Antarctic Empire territory. Sal and Techno would double team Bitzel, which caused him to flee out of the castle. Techno then re-entered his room and found Dio and Luke trying to steal Floof, which he couldn't even attack because he could accidentally kill Floof. He then exited the room and trapped the two in his chambers with cobblestone. Techno then attempted to convince Dio to kill the cats Kara Corvus, the Empress of the Corvarian Empire, procured for Techno weeks earlier. Philza and Pete were now geared up and ready to fight. Dio and Bitzel then escaped Techno's room and regrouped with the newly geared Tommy. The battle continued, with Sal firing arrows upon the group, Techno chasing Bitzel out of the port, and Phil attacking Dio. Techno then stormed at Bit with intent to kill, but he was unable to reach him due to Bit having a punch enchantment on his bow. Techno then joined Phil's fight, and the two double-teamed Dio, causing him to eat a notch apple. Techno then realized this was a war of attrition, so he enderpearled back into the castle and attempted to enter his room. He found Luke sitting next to Floof. Luke just said hi to him, before Techno silenced him very quickly. Techno restocked his potions, while Tommy was asking for peace between the nations. Due to Tommy and Luke's deaths, Tommy called for a ceasefire as both sides needed a low fire texture pack. He then asked Dio to stop fighting, which was a bad call considering Techno's armor was about to break. Techno then emerged from his castle holding Techno Gun, his crossbow, and started gunning Dio down. Techno then saw a flying machine from earlier on the wall, causing him to resume his attack on Dio, with Sal and Pete helping as well. They then eventually decided that they would have a ceasefire to obtain a low fire texture pack. The parties both healed up and repaired their armor. Luke then began his long boat ride back to the Antarctic Empire since all of his planes were broken. Dio then as well flew back to the Antarctic Empire. Tommy asked Techno if he could enter Techno's room and would go in full business mode to prove that he was just there for negotiations. Techno denied and said if he came in, he would be killed. Tommy then said he would give all of his armor to Bitzel to prove he had no intention of harming Techno, to which Techno requested that he give Sal his gear. After minutes of negotiations, no agreement was reached. Tommy then gave Bit his gear anyway and attempted to enderpearl into the room. One of Techno's dogs sustained damage, which caused Techno to threaten Tommy with being fed to his dogs. Techno was laying out many scenarios in which he could feed Tommy to his dogs, but then exited his room to plan for the upcoming battle. Dio and Tommy then attempted to push Floof out of his room, which Techno soon realized and trapped them in again. Tommy and Dio then set their spawns in Techno's bed, which will come in handy later. Techno then requested that the two leave his room and stop their attempts to steal Floof. He handed them 2 ender pearls, but they couldn't pearl out because of the claims. Techno then discovered Alana's present, Alfred 2 the chicken, but he never got to meet it as Tommy had killed it earlier. Tommy and Dio then had a dilemma on their hands. They were pondering if they could kill Floof. Tommy pulled his chat and found around 66% of people wanted to kill Floof. Techno then mined into the room to let them out, when Dio spawned a plane in the door, preventing it from being closed or open ever again. Techno then entered and got a high-fived by Tommy, which caused Techno to hit Tommy with his axe instead. Techno informed the Business Bay duo that if they continued stalling, the 5th member of the Antarctic Empire, Calvin, would join and bolster their forces severely. Tommy tried to convince Techno that he should have a 1v1 with Dio and that Tommy himself would take care of Floof. Techno denied this, saying Floof needed no care from Tommy. Dio then exited the room, leaving Tommy inside with many dogs. Techno then trapped Tommy inside. Tommy attempted to get Dio back in the room to kill Floof, because he did not want to do it himself. Techno then entered the room, and immediately, Tommy called out for Dio to kill Floof. Dio flew into the door, and struck Floof a few times, causing him to die. As we left off, Dio just killed Floof. This caused Techno and the rest of the Empire to charge after Dio. Sal quickly defeated Tommy while he was trying to climb the stairs. The main fight though was between Dio and the Antarctic Empire. Dio ran around the castle and soon realized that he was actually trapped inside with 4 raging players chasing after him. Tommy then spawned a plane on the top floor of the castle against some glass so that him and Dio could break out. Dio fought his way upstairs and then got into the plane. Tommy despawned the plane, but only Tommy got out, not Dio. Dio then tried to spawn his own plane to try to escape, but to no avail, since the Antarctic Empire and Sal were pushing his plane away from the window. Dio then soon realized he was able to eat any notch apples in the Antarctic Empire's claim, and so he made one final attempt to escape, but was ultimately slain by Filza after a long battle. Dio and Tommy kept respawning at Techno's bed, as they had slept in it and were spawn killed many times. Some arguments occurred about being toxic and the death of Floof, but in the end, Josh just ended up breaking the bed the duo were stuck at, ending the spawn killing. Bitzel then hid inside of his base and begged the Antarctic Empire to spare him. Bitzel stated that he said killing Floof was a bad idea and that he was against the decision. Techno ignored this. Techno and Sal then gathered some TNT in an attempt to lure the Business Bay member out. During this time though, Techno was preventing the Business Bay members from breaking back into the castle to retrieve their items. Tommy then asked Techno to spare Bitzel, but again, Techno ignored it and claimed guilty by association. Some small arguing went down about who was winning, but in the end, majority agreed that the Antarctic Empire came out on top so far. Tommy then asked for his items back, but then Techno asked Tommy for his dog back. The two argued for a bit, but then Techno asked for multiple diamond blocks compensation. As Sal neared in with TNT, Bitzel told Tommy that he had his gear, which caused Tommy to begin his efforts to let Bitzel escape. The Antarctic Empire then demanded heavy war reparations for the loss of Floof, when suddenly, Bitzel attempted to escape, but he realized he could only go up, right into the Antarctic Empire's hands. Bitzel then decided to meet his fate, so he put all of his items into an ender chest and prepared for the worst. Though throughout the entire time, Sal C1 was using TNT to enter Bitzel's spot, and well, he had just arrived. Sal C1 attempted to hit Bitzel, but he was unable to due to their factions' relationships. Bitzel then placed some cobble behind Sal, which trapped him there. Bitzel then exited his hole and was met by Filza, who shot him and killed him very quickly. Though when Filza and Techno were distracted, Luke and Tommy made their way to the Antarctic Empire and were preparing to kill the remaining dogs. This failed, as Techno and Phil caught on in time and slayed the two. Though not before, Tommy was able to kill Doggo, which was quickly replaced via breeding. We then go back to Sal C1, who escaped using an archaic command called /F-stuck. Basically what it does is it teleports you to the surface while you're in an enemy claim, but not in combat. With this development, the Antarctic Empire and Sal then honed in on Business Bay, demanding war reparations. Techno and Sal approached the faction, demanding diamond blocks, or they could pay them with cash. Tommy denied this request many times, so Techno and Sal threatened death. Bitzel, who is known for Skywars traps, had created a trap at his house and attempted to get Techno to enter it, but Techno assumed right and did not enter it. Techno kept requesting money while killing various members of Business Bay. Tommy claimed that Business Bay had no diamonds or any money, but their Baltop said otherwise. Techno then demanded the Twitch Prime Shrine be dismantled and its resources be given to the Antarcticans. Business Bay denied this, so the Antarctic Empire got TNT and created a cannon to dislodge the diamond blocks from the shrine. This plan failed though, as the members of Business Bay began placing water all over the shrine. Techno then pointed out that the $100,000 he requested was actually in Tommy's possession. Dio was done messing around with this shit, as he gave Techno $20K and received his own freedom. This took the total Business Bay needed to pay down by $20K, so they now owed $80,000. Tommy still refused to pay the Antarcticans anything though, and logged out. Sal then threatened to make a sand cannon to remove the water from the shrine, which scared the offline Tommy. Tommy then sent $80K to Dio, so he could pay Techno the remaining amount. Upon receiving the money, Techno deleted his claim on Business Bay and left.